What up, though? It's Haru Unk, Galactic Guardian. I'm out here in Brooklyn with the guard Red Pill.
BK stand up.
Word.
Yeah.
So August 20th, we got Red Pill, Blue Pill, and Sankofa coming to Connecticut to speak about the F.A.C.T.S initiative.
Yes, indeed. 120 for that one, sis. No doubt. Thank you. Yes, F.A.C.T stands for food, art, clothing, technology, transportation, shelter. The other day, I was in Harlem. You know how they have those people outside and they do like the healthcare stuff? I went inside of one of the little vans that they had. I was curious to find out what was going on.
Right.
I wanted to see something about dental coverage. Come to find out, they have these little minivans that they drive around and are like mini offices. Where when you come down and sit down, they're taking all your information. They have laptops. They basically cataloging people and signing them up. Automatically, I was like, yo, what if we had something like that in all of the neighborhoods that are depressed, where the people are suffering, they're sick mentally and spiritually, as well as being sick from the foods that they've been eating and compromising their health. But what about coming into these neighborhoods and offering them the ability to sign up and be a part of a news cycle, or be a part of a news channel, or be a part of a group or an organization that are disseminating information or just answering questions? You dig what I'm saying? Because a lot of people simply have questions and they're being steered in the wrong direction because they got to go to Fox 5, CNN, their boss, you know what I'm saying? Their teacher or professor. Come to find out, you know, rumor has it that those motherfuckers been lying to you all along and steering you in all of these directions that have been hurting and harming us. So the reason why we saying transportation, we have to move as a people. The reason why we saying food, we gotta eat. The reason why we saying art, we're naturally artists and scientists. We're artistic people. If you rap, you're an artist. If you draw, you're an artist. If you design, you're an artist. If you cut hair, you're an artist. If you do film, you're an artist. If you act, you're an artist. These are all inside of what is known as the liberal arts. This is all under the umbrella of art. Clothing, we all have to wear clothes. So if all of us have to wear underwear, if one of us are manufacturing the underwear and we're giving out, we're selling shares in that company and we're offering people the opportunity to work with us, then we have solved one of our biggest problems.
Yes. Socks,
tank tops, panties, bras. Just start there.
Right.
I mean, I understand it's hard for people to give up their Jordans, but give me the commitment that you're not gonna wear Hanes. You're gonna wear something that we created.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, technology, everything is going tech. I mean, we're in the future right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to not really, maybe not the adults per se, but what about our children who are basically being born hardwired? They already have technology in them. So we have to, it's our duty as the parents to bring it out, put them in rooms, or put them in centers, or put them in programs where there are professionals that show up that know how to app develop, code write, web design, and all of these things in a simplistic way, and they can teach our babies from 3 and 4 how to learn CSS plus, CSS, PHP, all of these languages that are building what we know as cyberspace, which is the future.
Right, the technology,
you know
right.
Technology. So we're gonna come to Connecticut, the family, we're gonna come together. We might even have a special guest, and we're gonna bring to the family some practical information, not no highfalutin, all over the place pseudo-isms that people are known for. Not something that when you leave there on Sunday and you wake up on Monday, you're like, yo, that lecture was dope, but what the fuck do I do to put something in my stomach? That's one of the biggest issues our people are having right now. So we're talking about information that you can apply right now. If you want to do history, we'll do that on another day. But right now we want to talk about the imperativeness of the now. Because a new president is about to come in, and I don't want to hear Negroes on Facebook bickering and beefing, and you know, because when we're in fear, we get real negative as a people. Start cursing each other out.
Whole bunch of black devils, yeah.
Oh yeah, the black devil come out when niggas is in fear and they don't want to deal with the white devil. They start turning in on each other. So it don't matter if Hillary become president or if Trump become president. the pressure on niggas is on. So you're gonna see a lot of negativity coming out of Negroes because they don't want to face the problems. They want to run from that. They want to blame black people if Trump comes in office. Oh, you niggas didn't vote. You made this happen to us. Or they want to blame, you know, all of this stuff. What we're saying is let's alleviate that. Let's not deal with the distraction. Let's identify the fact that, you know, the political climate is making it so we have to change. And then let's just change. Not trying to convince Ray Ray and Pookie and them who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about themselves. So by proxy, they don't care about us. Let's not waste our time trying to convince them. Yo, I'm not gonna convince a crab that they're boiling inside the pot. That's not your job. You know what I'm saying? If they can't realize that, then they have to, there's a rude awakening that awaits them.
So let me ask you a question. When you say that, you're speaking to people who are conscious, who are aware of their surroundings, and are willing to do something about it. Not somebody, you know, like you said, Pookie could be on the corner and look, he looks like he needs help.
I'm speaking to responsible, able-bodied, logic-thinking parents, wannabe parents, sons and daughters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Citizens of civilization where they just want a world, they want to live in a world where people don't have to be told what to do. Why we gotta tell people what the things that I don't have to tell a man not to kill another man.
Should be common sense. Should be common sense.
You don't have to tell a man not to touch his toes and bend over for another man. That should be known. You dig what I'm saying? You should not have to tell a grown man stop begging for money. If you can do something, if you have a skill or a talent, do that instead of preying on other people who are doing something with their talents and skills to provide for their own. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the basics. So it's not saying that I want to turn my back on my people, because what we do every day is actually helping our people. But if we begin to help each other, then those people who need help, they will begin to see an example of people that are helping themselves. And I know the nigga mind, and they'll be like, wow, or the Negro mind, or the black mind, whatever you want to say. They work off of example and demonstration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when niggas see niggas running, they start running with them.
Yeah.
So you got to start that race. You have to start the run. You got to start a marathon. Keep in mind, we are of the black race. We're in a race of our lives right now. You know why? Because the brown race is racing, the white race is racing, the yellow and the red and all of the races are racing. Yeah, they work with us and they cool, we can eat lunch and everything. And they'll tell you some of their secrets and you tell them some of your secrets. They listen to hip hop and do the nay-nay, but they know it's race first. So everything that they do is predicated on helping their race become #1 in the race. Please believe that. I don't even care if a white man is sleeping with a black woman, or a black woman, or a white woman is sleeping with a black man. It's still race first for them. There's still an agenda attached to that. They're like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna procreate with this person and bring about a mulatto baby because they are gonna be all right. They're gonna be a part of that race. You know what I mean? And sometimes they might help us win the race. Shit like that happens. Obama comes out of a white womb and he has assisted in helping some other race win a race. He didn't necessarily help his race win the race. So it's nothing personal. It's all business. You could sit down with a European, you could sit down with a brother from Latin America and have a sensible conversation with them. You could sit down with an Asian or an Indian and have an honest talk with them, and they will admit to you and they will let you know, yes, I'm doing this for my race. So no pun intended or no hate towards you, but we came here to win.
Right.
We just came to win. So the first shall be last and the last shall be first. We find ourselves in this precarious time with the European or the pilgrim who's been identified as the last race to appear on the planet. He's in the front. By any means necessary. He's in the front of the race going for the goal. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what are we gonna do at the back of the race? We're all the way in the back, right? But we some good ass runners. You know what I'm saying? what are we gonna do? Because Marcus Garvey told you, up ye mighty race, race first.
Right.
He said, focus on your race. And I'm not saying it to hate anybody. I'm saying it out of love. When you love self, right? Your surroundings, everything, your DNA responds to that. People around you respond to that. Your race will begin to respond to that. So what I'm saying is, in this race, there's some people that decided that they're gonna sprint, they're gonna take off on some Usain Bolt shit, and there's a whole bunch of us that don't want to run. I can't be focused on the ones that don't want to run right now. I'm focused on the runners. Facts. I'm focused on the runners, and we're gonna be the ones that are gonna take this run, and then we're gonna convince other people to run with us. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it.
So in a nutshell, that's what F.A.C.T.S is about. That's what F.A.C.T.S is here to bring, a practical solution, a scientifically proven solution. Simple mathematics. 30,000 at 20 is 600,000. We could work with that.
Yeah.
We could work with that.
Yeah.
There's 30,000 people ready and willing and able globally, because this is a global thing now. They're ready. We're gonna, when we come to Connecticut, I'm campaigning. This is not a lecture. I've done that. They are effective. But the era of that has been finished. In my humble opinion, when Dr. Ben made his transition, that era died of knowledge gaining and reading all of the books and being at the lectures and all of that. Now we go into this phase of application. You know what an app is?
Yes.
The algorithm is it is a computation to solve a problem. That's all the algorithm is.
Right.
That's all these apps are really doing. You dig what I'm saying? Airbnb is an app, or Uber. Yo, the taxi cab won't pick niggas up no more. Well, now you got an app for that. There's an app for that. You could just hit them on. They don't know that you black.
Right.
You just call the cab. They be there in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Airbnb. You have problems with hotel prices. Boom. There's an app for that. Now you could go rent out a crib. You know what I mean? So we just.
So, Pill, let me ask you another question. You spoke about Dr. Ben Clark, and you know, we have a lot of living ancestors that are here, but they're basically, you know, dying in the hospital with, you know, $27. I remember hearing Sarah Sue and Seti saying he going to see Dr. Ben and gave him his last $27 out of his pocket because Dr. Ben ain't have it. I find that to be a problem. I've heard you speak about, you know, giving back to the elders, not only the elders, but the ones that are still here. You know what I mean?
Interestingly enough, I saw Hidden Colors 4 on Thursday, the world premiere in Brooklyn. I mean, in Manhattan at the Sunshine Theater. Delbert Blair was in there, right? And seeing Delbert, you know, once again, for the last time, you know, it evoked, you know, a feeling of sorrow. You feel me? Because I knew that the brother was ailing in his health, and he was reaching out to members in the community to help him. Some of the younger members who are more well off than he was, and they turned their backs on him. They think that we forgot that, and we know about that, you know, and our brother's health deteriorated. And it just reminded me that they've removed the value of not only the teachers, but they've destroyed the value of just everything in consciousness. I don't know when it happened, but I know that we've been devalued to the place where we're expected to die broke. We're expected to struggle. We're expected to beg, right? We're expected to deteriorate in our health when the people feel that they no longer can use us. So, part of the F.A.C.T.S initiative is predicated on doing what? Returning value to the things that we're doing for our people. The way that I figured that we could do it is to create a monetary system where we could create a buffer, or where we could create a treasury that it empowers. It doesn't deal with what we want to do. It does it in real time, where we're going to have an actually allotted amount of money to the side for funerary rights, right? For basically saying, if a Dr. Sabi or a Mama Pill or one of the elders say, I'm ailing in health, I need to go somewhere that's tropical in order to come back to my proper health, my proper senses and whatnot, we need to be able to do that for them. You dig what I'm saying? Like I just got off the phone with my mother today. We're gonna start giving her an allowance She has 5 children, you know what I mean? Even though she does what she does, I'm like, why not every month just put some money to the side just because you did what you had to do? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the most that I could do at this point. I'm like, I'm setting you up to where you will have residual income, but yeah, that makes sense. Even though we have children, all of us, we still, because we wouldn't have children if it were not for you.
Period.
So, individually, I only said that because we have to take individual responsibility first, like family, and then we have to do it amongst our teachers who we owe our lives to. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like when I came into Harlem in 2005, it was the sight of Dr. Ben. You know, I went to the O'Berry Dempsey Center one night, and it was the sight of the brother that made me feel like I was in the right place and I shouldn't leave. You know what I mean? So, you know, we can't be arrogant. We can't turn our backs on the people who helped us get here because the ancestors won't bless us, because those are our ancestors. And we have to feed them while they're here and while they go and when they make their transition. You know what I mean? We have to return the value to the work that they did and venerate them. I'm talking statues. I'm talking 3D busts, you know what I mean? I'm talking bronze statues. I'm talking, you know, edifying their name forever. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's in African traditional systems, that's what they said that we're supposed to do. So, case in point, we have a streaming service called Netflix. Netflix is going to enable all the participants, all of the content creators, to receive a residual every month, like a percentage. So if we have a Phil Valentine library, like how they have Netflix, there's a category, a whole Phil, there'll be a Phil Valentine category, because he got like 300 titles.
That's a great idea.
You'll get a check.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? You'll get a check. If they got, if the lecturers were to get $1 off of all of the DVDs that were sold over the past 10 years, they would be all right.
They would
have a stream of income. Unfortunately, that never worked out. You know what I mean? So now we live in a streaming times where they kind of rearrange the economy and whatnot. So now with the new economy, you have the opportunity to put something in there. You got crowdfunding out there. If we have the whole community to come to agreement that if there's 30,000 members in F.A.C.T.S and we say, yo, there's a tax. You know what I mean? There's a tax for the elders, and each brother, whenever we do a transaction, there's like a 7-cent or 8-cent tax that goes into the treasury. It's called a philanthropy. The Jews do it, the Italians do it, the Greeks do it, the Iranians do it, the Turks do it. All of them do it. They take care of their elders. You dig what I'm saying? Because of the work that they put in. Some of them put work in.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of the homeless people out here are veterans. Right? A lot of veterans are homeless. So they showed you that the American government, or Uncle Sam as they like to call them, doesn't even value the work that people put in their able years. They'll kick you to the side. So are we going to be better than them or worse than them? If we're talking about we're going to be this new community that stands on morals, that stands on character and integrity, are we going to throw away the elders and the babies? Because that's the problem right now. We're talking about sexual molestation. That means that somebody is abusing and turning their backs on the babies who are defenseless. Then, fast forward, the elders are dying broke. So somebody is turning their backs on people who don't know how to put a Facebook post up there and say, yo, I'm being shitted on by everybody. They don't know how to do these things, so they just die or they just suffer in silence. So we gotta change that. We could crowdfund for them. We could put a tax and equity crowdfunding to the side for them. We could create a fund for them, not when they died. So you know how our people are, you know, because remember, our people are so damaged and traumatized that we are repelled by individuals who we don't put value to, who we don't feel is valuable, and we're magnetized. We're drawn to people that we feel have value. So they'll be like, yo, Jay-Z is almost a billionaire, he's a valuable nigga, and then we're drawn to people like that, or Puffy. But then they'll look at the conscious community and be like, oh, them poor righteous teachers, they ain't about nothing, they die broke, and it's almost like we're repelled. So we move away from that. You dig what I'm saying? So the mentality has to change. It's steeped inside of poverty consciousness. That has to be eradicated. Once that's eradicated, then we return the value. We have to return the reward system. What is the reward system for a person who takes 3 years to write a fucking book? to help their people. Is there no reward system? If somebody harmed one of our children and we went out there and got justice for them, is there a reward system set in place by the conscious community? If I sacrifice all of my youthful years, I could be on a hoverboard right now, rollerblading. You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking, but you know, if I sacrifice those years, what is the reward for that from my community? Because I'm on the front line, my face is recognized. All of those police cameras, that's called face recognition. Everything that I'm doing is being watched. So is there no reward for my sacrifice other than, yo, Red was good, he was a cool brother when he's gone. We're gonna, you know, make a t-shirt after him. We're not in that era no more. We're in an era where you venerate people in real time, and then you reward your brothers and your sisters who are brave enough to be on the front line and put it all on the line for their people.
Ashe.
Ashe. And we're not compromised. You know, we're saying that we're not shitting on the people with 9 to 5s. What we're saying is, as a result of us working 9 to 5 and knowing that we will compromise on a job site by just being around Europeans. You feel what I'm saying? Because we almost had to, it's almost like an assimilation, but it's genetic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when they're in your neighborhoods, eating and sleeping and living amongst you, there's some shit that's going on DNA-wise, because DNA responds to environment. Spirit-wise, like if you come amongst a certain European, you can have a spiritual aversion to that person because maybe you and that person many generations ago were at war. Not that long ago, maybe that person and you know, had differences, but you can feel it. I'm not just saying Europeans, this happens with all people.
All people.
All people, you know what I'm saying? But when you're not amongst them and you don't have to answer to them, and you don't have to depend on them to keep your lights on, because remember, on the work site, they follow your social media too. So you can't be that revolutionary and still be amongst them like that. So when certain people remove themselves and remove themselves from their influence and say, yo, I don't ever want to be around them like that because I don't want to be compromised by them. What I'm going to do is sacrifice all of the perks that come with having white friends, and I'm just going to be around black people right now. You guys have fun at the coffee shop and all that. Right. I'm going to have to sit that one out because I want to just be amongst my people, because that's something we're not necessarily able to do now.
I changed my name from Chill Will to Haru Onkshuel.
Yes.
That caused me almost to lose my job.
That was the problem. My
job said, you know, you're on Facebook, it looks like it's Muslim. And I'm looking at him like, first of all, it's Kemetic. It ain't even Muslim. It has nothing to do with religion. So them coming at me because I changed my name due to my doctrine.
Chill Will, though.
From Chill Will to Haru Onkshuel, and that caused friction. So I personally went through what you're speaking about. I personally went through that.
What is not dangerous is niggas, right? This has been already established. Post 2012, post Trayvon Martin, which was the first ritual of them sacrificing our babies in the streets. Because prior to that, it wasn't going down like that. The whole Zimmerman thing, that was a grand ritual, a 2012 ritual, and it has escalated ever since. So what's not really feared anymore is niggas. They neutralized them, because Zimmerman is still walking around, grabbing his balls and making fun of niggas. You dig what I'm saying? With all of the tough guys in the world, with all of the goons, all of the goblins and shooters, nobody took time out of their busy schedule to enact any kind of street justice. But they said that that's what they do, right? So what is more feared than a nigga right now is an educated black man, a conscious black man and woman. That right there has them very fucking uncomfortable. Because what it is when you're dealing with niggertree, right, or niggerdom, you're not necessarily threatening the power structure that they set up. Power structure being white supremacy, and the mind state, the social engineering of it. You're actually going forward to help them out. But when you wake up, now you're a threat because you're challenging it on it. Remember, we're in an intellectual war right now. This is a world war taking place. Intellectually, all wars take place on a spiritual realm before they even take place on a physical realm. That is the end result. Wars take place on paper, right? Before they take place, before the tanks start rolling out, that is almost the last results. But the shit takes place on the intellectual realm, then it trickles down into the mental plane, then it trickles down into concepts and ideas, and then paper, and then economics. So what they call regentrification is war. What the fuck? How the fuck are you moving? Well, who the hell are you that your presence caused my rent to rise up?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then when I go into your neighborhood, your rent goes down. So psychologically, you're telling me that I'm not worth nothing. And you're telling me that you're worth all of the fucking money in the world, that they can still have crack spots on my block, and you moved on my block and my rent went up $1,500. And you put a coffee shop on my block, and that's the only reason why my rent went up? So, Hotep, brother, Hotep. So economically, this is called soft warfare. A soft war is when you're being oppressed and you don't realize it because you're always used to warfare being bloody with guns and all of this stupid shit. Like, that's a war, that version of war, you don't ever want to see that, first and foremost. You want to do everything in your power to avoid a war like that, even though certain things are inevitable. You don't want that, okay? You don't want that. So what you want to do is just identify that you're at war, that there's all kind of versions of war. So you mean to tell me that if they poison your water, that you gotta wash your baby up in, and that you gotta bathe in, and you have to take showers and baths and drink, that's not a level, that's not a version of warfare, just because the state officials are behind it? Come on, man. We gotta be more responsible for ourselves. Nobody loves us the way that we're supposed to love ourselves. That verdict is out. No one loves us. We have allies. We have people that sympathize with our plight, and they're empathetic towards who we used to be. They like, yo, I fuck with you when you was kind of deep. You know, when you were high civilization, they still are empathetic towards us based on that, right? So when, you know, some of the Rasta Bingi, Naya Bingis is walking mad proud, you know, with the Selassie, they'll salute you because they're like, yo, you're attempting to be in your higher self. But when the brothers are onked out, you know, and they're in their comedic self, they'll salute that because they respect the fact that you are still aligned with high civilization, and they recognize that. You know what I mean? Like when they see Hindus on their higher Krishna or things like that, or the Dalai Lama and all of that, they still respect that because they're like, yo, these people are still attributed to be of a higher spiritual plane, or, you know, they're civilizing themselves. But they hate them some niggas because they understand that they created that. Remember, there's never been a time in history, peace, Malik, there's never been a time in history where the European, the Aboriginal, Indigenous Indian, and the West African, and the North African created, was able to create a whole new breed or stock of people like this. This is unique, okay? So we got a lot of European in us. We got a lot of Aboriginal, Indigenous Indians in us who are copper tone complexion, you know, copper being this complexion, and we also have a lot of African, Indigenous Africans in us. So the social engineers, the people who deal with advertisement, education, food, science, all of these things, they actually market to us from this standpoint. They talk to the cracker in you. You dig what I'm saying? It's crackatosis. They market to the devil in you.
I've heard you say that before.
They market to the cracker in you.
Right.
And that motherfucker, he responds like, hey, you talking to me? That's the proverbial devil on his left shoulder, angel on the right. You dig what I'm saying? That's junk DNA. You know what I mean? That's the shit that you see come out of people when they abuse crack. And the heroin, you see them when they all slumped over and they all fucked up. That's pulling out that's that DNA resurfacing. You dig what I'm saying? Got them looking Igor-like.
Yeah.
In all kind of other ways, but that's that cracker DNA in them expressing itself. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it.
Destroying them. Because when they take certain drugs, they can function perfectly. But you see with the crystal meth that's to them, and the heroin and other things. So all I'm saying, without saying a lot, is we don't have to apologize for saying, look, my son is 8 years old. I don't want him to go through the rites of passage that I went through. What is my rites of passage? I had to bury like 20 of my comrades before I was 21. and I was scared to death that I wasn't gonna make it to 21. Then when I made it to 40, niggas it was like, yo, you getting old. How am I getting old? Nigga, I made it. Like, what is you talking about? I mean, this is an accomplishment. I'm 40, fam. When we were studying all of ancient civilizations, they said that you had to make it to 40 to be considered even a master builder or a master mason, as they call it.
Facts.
It's not about, you know, oh, what I'm doing and you 30 or you 20 some. Yeah, nigga, make it to 40. What is you talking about? You supposed to be doing something at 20. You supposed to be popping at 30, but make it to where the ancestors and the elders, they gave you a cycle. Oh fam, I'm timeless. Yeah, I know, we all are timeless. I'm talking about 40 cycles around the goddamn sun, 365 days. For the people that like to get all practical with it, that is important. Things begin to change for me. You dig what I'm saying? After that cycle was complete. I understand what they say, life begins at 40. It's another stage. We all, because remember, 1 to 7 is a stage. That is the most important years of any of our lives. So if you get traumatized between the years of 1 and 7, that will trickle down to all of the other stages of 7. Those are called core issues that people got to deal with. You dig what I'm saying? That's why it's important to teach your child. That's why they had the child with the mother until 7. Then they bring it to the father. Then you start your rites of passage at 14. You feel what I'm saying? So whatever rites of passage that he has to go through, I don't want it to be in the concrete jungles killing other men. You feel what I'm saying? He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. You know, so all we're saying is we want to create a future for them that is conducive. We want to create a future for them that they don't feel ashamed to be our children. We want to create a future for them where they can compete with the other young geniuses and avatars and star seeds and indigos and rainbows, any name, all of these different names. These are the children that are born awake. They sitting up at 2 days, moving around like, you know, at 3 years old, they are articulating themselves in ways that we were not articulating ourselves at 3 years old. Meaning that they're being born to prepare them for something, right? They are being born to prepare them for a future that me and you don't even know about. But it's gonna be greater than the future, it's greater than the times that we are in right now. So with all of the technology, the fact that we may be able to, all kind of stuff, teleport, utilize mentalism, speak to people telepathically, all of these things are actually, you know, live longer, shit like that. So we gotta create the environment for the babies to bring that out of them. You know, all of the bullshit on TV, the distractions, the niggertree, we gotta keep them away from that. We have to defend them from that. You dig what I'm saying? The white supremacy, the thinking of a Roman, making them think like they're Greek, making them think like they're Roman, making them think like they're Negropeans, making them think like, you know, that they're inferior. We have to combat that arduously. You feel what I'm saying? So that's our job, man. You know what I mean? I'm a parent. We gotta be more responsible. And we're not apologizing for it. And we're not doing it to threaten anyone else. We're doing it to actually fulfill the prophecies of our master teachers who told us in this day and time, this is the job that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have our own city. We're gonna have our 40 acres. We're gonna have businesses and all kind of things.
I look forward to hearing more in Connecticut, August 20th. Red pill, blue pill, and Sankofa, man. Shalom.
Turn it up. Peace. All right.